Hello, boys and girls, chicos y chicas. So, today we're going to be talking about animal symbolism. Now, once again, when we think about the slideshow that I am giving you, you're not going to do anything in slides one, two, three, four, or five. Five, you're going to read for the poem, but you're actually going to work in slide six. And as always, well, as the new trend, I'm going to have another slide. So, slide seven, where you can continue if you have more thoughts. Okay, so animal symbolism. Let me go back to over here. Let's go in presentation mode. Animal symbolism. Okay, so we actually don't have a lot of animals here. We only picked a few. I know that there's a lot more animals than this. So if you encounter a poem that has more animals, you can always Google search, hey, what is the symbolism of a and then whatever animal you choose. So let me repeat that. If you read a poem and you encounter another animal that is not one that is on the list here, please go to Google and search what is the symbolism of, and then enter the name. So, what is the symbolism of, let me see, a lion? And then it will, and you can always say in poetry to add it. So, what is the symbolism of a lion in poetry? Or what is the symbolism of a hummingbird in poetry? So, please always go ahead and search in case there's an animal that you do not see in this presentation. Okay, so let's continue. Animal symbolism. The bat. So, in the West, the bat is a symbol for death, superstition, fear, and night. So think of like vampires only come out at night, and vampires and bats are supposedly like the same thing in literature. But in China, the bat is a symbol of happiness and good fortune. So once again, just like what I said with the colors, you have to think about the poem and where it comes from. So if you're reading a poem that's written by an author that lived in the US or anywhere in Europe, then you might want to go with the bat is a symbol for death, superstition, fear, and night. But if you read a poem that's written by um, the Eastern countries, so like China, Japan, and all those Asian countries, then you might want to consider the symbolism of the bat is happiness and good fortune. So let's go back to the another animal, the bear. The bear is a symbol of strength and courage and tenacity. And actually, think of like brother bear, so gentle and friendship, power and dignity. But also, it is an amusement due to its love of honey. So think of like Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh is like a great friend to other people, and it's just. But also, like bears are strong, and I usually, whenever I think of a bear, I think of a tree. So it's like trees are big and like strong, and so think about the surroundings of a bear too. Okay, so then we go to the bird. The bird represents goodness and joy and wisdom and intelligence. So the flying bird represents freedom, hope, and beauty. And so when I think of a bird, I think of like spring, and so that's like the hope of this beginning of like summer coming. So yeah, a bird I would see represents a lot of positive emotions or feelings or thoughts. Okay, so now we go to the butterfly, and then it's like the same thing, I think. So the butterfly represents the soul and resurrection in several parts of the world, and that is because of the butterfly um, cycle. So like the butterfly cycle has to do, like you think about the caterpillar, and then it's cocoon, and it goes through all the phases, and then finally it goes into a beautiful butterfly. So that's where it's like represents the resurrection. So it went from this caterpillar to this beautiful, it's just beautiful butterfly. So the soul resurrection in several parts of the world because of the beauty of the butterfly cycle. I was thinking about beautiful butterfly cycle. Okay, so the eagle, and so I am thinking about the United States as I am talking about the eagle because the eagle represents the symbol of power, speed, action, perception, intuition, creativity, balance of power. The cat is a symbol of spiritual power. Actually, now that I think about it, when you go to um, a Chinese, no, Japanese, Chinese restaurant, they always have a cat. Like they have like a cat that moves its hand. And so I'm wondering whether that comes from like that spiritual power, the power of freedom, love of liberty, and an opposite meaning of the cat, which is once again, I think it's more of a Western thing. It's bad luck. So whenever you see like a black cat, like, ooh, that's bad luck. Or if you see a cat, and at least in Mexico, I know for sure if a cat walks underneath stairs, then that is like, oh, you're going to have something bad is going to happen. So, um, yeah. And now that I remember, yeah, cats are associated with witches and evil. Okay, so we'll move on to the dog. The dog is a symbol of companion, so and guardian. So I'm actually thinking about the um, how like the phrase a dog is a man's best friend, and so that's where we get that companionship. And in a positive light, they are a symbol of loyal, faithful, honesty, and willing to fight for justice. So we see, oops, sorry, that is my nephew talking. He is very excited to be here right now. Papi, I'm working. Can you go? Yeah, he left me a present. Okay. And he took it away. So, yeah, so a dog is a man's best friend because he's loyal, faithful, honestly, and if you're hearing noise behind me, I am so sorry, but my nephew is here and he is not going to leave. So we're just going to continue on. Okay, so then we have the owl, and the owl, I actually think that the owl is like a very wise animal. I don't know why. That has always been engraved in my head that the owl is a wise animal. And according to this, as I am seeing, it is associated with wisdom. And I don't know where I got that from. I just literally have been growing up thinking that. But it's also a symbol of vigilance. So if you think about it, when you see an owl, it's always looking. So vigilance, always looking. And acute wit and has keen sight and patience. And so, yeah, patience and wisdom. And then we have the wolf. The wolf is a symbol for cruelty and cunning and greed in some cultures, but it actually, others, they admire it because it represents courage and victory. And actually, I am so impressed or surprised that the wolf does not represent um, like the same thing as the dog, loyal, and because I'm thinking of wolf packs, they're loyal to each other and so interesting. But yeah, cruelty and cunning. So cruelty in the sense, have you ever heard of like werewolves? Um, so like in some fantastical stories, werewolves are, these evil things, they attack people. So I could see where the cruelty and cunning comes in to play. So I think that's all the animals for now. I'm going to stop this slideshow presentation. And once again, if you find yourself with an animal that is not one of these nine, please Google search what is the symbolism for blank in poetry, and that way you can also get an answer. I'm going to end this slideshow presentation. I hope that this helps you a lot. I'm sorry for the interruption with my nephew. Bye bye.